Hey everyone. Today we're going to be trying out Pickochet. Seems like it's supposed to be a play on pickpocket. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but let's get into it. Alright. Greetings, my boy. The time has finally come for me to retire. But your time has come. Take my pickaxe and start mining. Alright. No time to waste, let's go to the local village mine. Alright, mining is a pretty common theme. Okay, interesting. That's not how I think of mining, but seems like they sort of have a bouncing pickaxe as part of their system. Seems to spawn ore. I wonder if there's a maximum? Or if it's just timed. It's actually doing pretty well on its own. So I do have the ability to click on them. Alright. Good work. It seems that you have enough money to invest in some upgrades. Time to exit the mine. Let's do that. Investing in upgrades is how you mine more efficiently and make more money. Let's unlock a new ore. Buy the copper ore upgrade. Okay. Once you have finished upgrading all the ore, you can unlock a new location. In time, you can also upgrade your pickaxe in the pickaxe shop. Okay. 30,000. Okay, that's... seems like a good amount, but we also just started level 1 with 1,000, so... let's do it again. It's actually going so well on its own, I don't really have to click anything, but I will definitely do anything that's doubled up. So copper ore seems to be much more valuable from what I'm seeing. And I think it's also sturdier? No, those stopped at the same time. Maybe a pickaxe had hit it without me noticing. But getting the ones that are stacked up seems to be a pretty effective method. That last one asked me to end the run. I wonder if there's an actual limit on these. I haven't really paid attention to that. So I have a little over 6,000 right now. I don't know what this none is. That doesn't do anything. Maybe abilities or power-ups of some sort. And it just shows a time. It doesn't really seem to be forcing me to spend a certain amount of time here or there. I think some of the ore upgrades were a couple thousand, so we've probably more than exceeded what is necessary for a couple of those ore upgrades. Clearly that's what they meant to happen before we upgraded our pickaxe. So I think I'll get to like... let's get like 15k. I think 30k was the pickaxe upgrade, so 15 should more than cover what other upgrades they had in mind. I am kind of liking the Zen music in the background. It's nice and chill music. Alright, let's end this run. Drop. Also abilities we didn't check out. Yeah, that seems to be where it says none. That seems to line up. Okay. Oh, we actually have an upgrade. For some reason I thought that was the first one. Increases speed of the pickaxe. Only by 10? That's like 5%. I don't know if that's worth it. Oh yeah, definitely value of ore seems... like copper ore at village maximum. And between ore spawns. I think I'm gonna go with the money. Crit? Sure, why not? Also reduce. Definitely get the ability. Just got your first ability. Let's go and equip it. Alright, let's do that. Equip your abilities here. Come back from time to time to try out different combos. Alright, that's what I did. I wouldn't really say that's an ore ability or an ore upgrade, but sure, why not? Spawn cap. That seems pretty useful. Alright, I've sort of maxed out that tree. Use crit multiplier to crit when breaking ore. If I'm at 0% crit, I probably want this upgrade. Alright. So let's play again. Spare pickaxe. That's pretty good. It seems smaller to me. I think that is accurate. I don't know if it gets upgrades later to become like a similar size or not. Okay, looks like the cooldown kind of seems like it maybe like 80% of its cooldown. So I only have like a couple seconds without the spare axe. But pretty good so far. Try doing the ones that are nearby again, since that was pretty effective last time. I do hope they have like a auto upgrade or an auto ability use at some point. I mean, for the spare pickaxe. While it's certainly something I can do, I don't think there's any hotkey for it. I can try some keys in a second. Okay, yeah, actually, 1 does it, so a hotkey does exist, so that's actually helpful. Because having to kind of go off to the side to click it when you're in the middle of clicking here seems very inefficient. So a hotkey was nice. That's a good feature. Though I don't think they even mentioned that anywhere. So it is pretty standard in games. Well, we definitely have a good amount of cash right now, so I'm going to let this cooldown run out and then I'll end it. Alright, that's enough for me. What else do we have here? We have this crit multiplier. Go with the pickaxe, just because. Alright, those were pretty expensive actually. Okay, so I think once I've maxed out all of these upgrades, I can go down and unlock this new location. So I used up my cash, so I can't do that yet. So let's do this again. Hopefully something interesting happens with the new location. I do like how zen this is, but I don't know if I'm feeling particularly invested yet in the mechanics or the environment, so to speak. Like, it's definitely going, but especially because they have the upgrade system in that tree style where there's a limit, I'm assuming, per location. The thing that I'm really upgrading right now is I'm waiting to buy the new location, which I should have more than enough for, and then my main pickaxe should also have some upgrades that I can unlock. I think it was 11,000. I think that's true. I'll wait till 25k, or maybe this pickaxe disappears just to be on the safe side. And alright, I think that should be enough. We should be getting this new location. Alright, new location purchased. And then, oh, that was 22k. I misremembered that. Alright, so let's try the new location. Okay. So they basically changed the background, and also these ore seem to be different. So I think the last one was copper. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe this is like iron or something. It's kind of like gray colored. I think they're more valuable than the copper was. So that's good. But I'm not entirely sure that I'm super invested in the upgrades in this game. Sometimes upgrades, they allow you to have like fixed attributes, like you can constantly upgrade like speed or damage or cooldown or something like that. And so sometimes you want to hit certain thresholds and then they basically unlock new mechanics. So that might happen with the pickaxe itself. But going from the ore side, I'm sure that there was a monetary value increase from doing it, but it seemed like I really invested in those upgrades just to unlock the next map. And this next map is mostly the same so far. I don't know. Maybe they'll add some more interesting mechanics. It is a popular game right now, and so I do like to go through these and see what makes them tick, see what people might like about them. I do like that it starts off pretty automatic for what appears to be an incremental game. So let's go to upgrades. Is that it? What's happening here? Okay, so I need to change locations. That's what that menu is for. Okay, so this is mountain stone. You can have silver ore, gold ore, and iron ore. Okay, that was 0. I didn't notice that. That might have been useful before. Click area, cooldown between each click. I don't know if I love that. Speed of the bonus pickaxe. Okay, so it can automatically spawn a random pickaxe. So now these seemed a little bit more interesting to me for mechanics. 30,000 and 50,000. Oh, they are expensive. Okay. See what happens here. I'm supposed to have a chance to spawn another pickaxe. So I had just used my skill or ability to make the other one. I don't know if I've noticed it happen naturally from the random chance that should be occurring. So I'll spawn mine again. The ability. Some of these upgrades were really expensive, so I'm just going to let it sit for a little while. I think some of them were even 50k or 60k. So I'll maybe try to hit 50 or 60 and go back just to have some options. I don't know if I've ever actually spawned a smaller pickaxe automatically. I'll have to double check the other upgrades, but the way crits worked in the previous map, I think it unlocked the ability to do crits, but then the crit chance was 0, so I had to buy a separate upgrade. Which is kind of annoying. Like, why have a mechanic that you're not really going to demonstrate until you do a second upgrade? I feel like it would have been better if they even had like a 1% chance, so it still occurred randomly, but it wasn't like they're giving you a solid chance just because you unlocked the ability to do it, and then they could separately cause you to, or force you to invest in the kind of hit rate or crit rate in that situation. Alright, we've crossed 60,000, so that should be more than enough. Yeah, these are expensive. Increased chance to spawn a bonus pickaxe. Do I have like a 1% chance and it goes to like 2% here? That's max bonus pickaxe spawn cap. I wonder if this also counts towards my ability or not. That'd be annoying, because that could also explain why I'm not seeing one. So I think I'm just gonna do silver for right now. Things are getting pretty expensive pretty quick. But if it's only a 1% chance to spawn a pickaxe, it's also gonna be pretty low. Okay, there we go. One just spawned. So now I have 3 pickaxes kind of going all at once. So maybe this gets kind of interesting when you have like, I don't know, 10 pickaxes going all at the same time. Maybe that's kind of the allure, is kind of like the chill visual bouncing effect. I'm gonna end that here as well at 60. Get the cheaper upgrade. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. To go to workshop. It actually probably would have been nice if you just ended the run and it maybe even went to the upgrades. And you could just like exit and then go to playing the next level. Decrease time between spawns, sure. Goblin ability. Sure, why not? Spawn cap. Sure, let's do those. Scatter a bunch of small bombs. Somehow this one came after that one. Of course. Alright, let's do it. Let's see what the goblin does. So he's like stealing the ore? Seems a little weird of a visual to me. But I guess on the bright side, he seems to kind of like stick onto a specific ore until it kind of has a particular duration. Oh. Does it just stay up? So I just hit the hotkey again. Let's see what happens. But I did notice that the cooldown was up before I hit it. So it might just stay out there, or it might just have a longer duration than it has a cooldown. So like right now the cooldown is up and he's still kind of wandering around at the moment. Okay, now he's gone. Yeah, so he just has a good duration. So you're basically always going to have him up if you want. So the abilities seem to be the most fun to me, as far as I can tell. Like, I wasn't even paying attention to the money going up, and I just have a good amount now, as I was just learning what a goblin did. So that seems to be a nice aspect of it. Definitely let's go with value. Okay, here we go. Here's the other upgrade. So supposedly they expected me to go up first, and I didn't. I'm gonna increase the maximum that can exist at one time, just because I think that's likely the most effective for having multiple pickaxes out and about. Scatter bombs is actually kind of nice. That's pretty satisfying. Again, kind of wishing that I had like an automatic ability casting. Oh, I can have 2 goblins at the same time if I hit it fast enough. Okay. So now it seems like my attention is completely taken away from clicking to just using my abilities at this point. Because there's obviously a clear advantage to me hitting them as soon as they're off cooldown. And since they all have slightly... These might have a more similar cooldown, but Scatter Bombs is clearly faster than the other ones. A little bit. So they all have slightly different cooldowns, so you kind of need to pay attention unless you either just spam them or maybe click and then just glance over. Okay. That's kind of starting to get fun. I think the abilities seem to really be where the most fun is, in my opinion. Okay, so now we got ability to crit. Yeah. Yeah, again, we end up in the same situation. Ore Pocket ability. Okay, so what does Ore Pocket do? I feel like Scatter Bomb is the most enjoyable, so I'm going to try out Ore Pocket. Oh, I see. So it kind of just makes like a ring of ore. That does seem pretty useful. I feel like the spare pickaxe is probably better than the goblin. Just because you can see the normal pickaxe kind of hopping all over the place. And so, even you can have two at a similar time. I feel like if I had another pickaxe, they would just be really going at it for this ore. I'm gonna end the run. I'm gonna switch my ability to that again. I'm going to drop the goblin. I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna upgrade my pickaxe because I just haven't in a little while. Speed of bonus pickaxe. That's it for these. Let me do one of these. Spawn cap of 2. I think that's pretty unlikely to happen just because of how rare a chance it is. Alright. But it does seem to be getting a little bit more fun in my opinion. I don't know if you are enjoying this more as I'm getting more upgrades, but I feel like there's more stuff happening on the screen. There's different effects happening now. I feel like it probably would have been useful to maybe start with some initial abilities, even if they were kind of really underpowered, because I feel like it has changed the overall use of and playability of the game. I see I can have remnants of separate pockets, which is cool. So like this I think was from a previous ore pocket, and this one's here as well. I would have really enjoyed actually upgrading these abilities. Like, even if ore pockets start with like 1 or 2 ore, and you could kind of like make a cluster and that cluster gets bigger over time, that would have probably been a satisfying upgrade trajectory or path. But definitely getting better. Yeah, see now I'm getting like massive amounts of money and I'm starting to pay less attention to how much money is here and just kind of doing various effects. Okay, gonna end that run. Alright, is that it for upgrades for the pickaxe store? Actually mildly disappointing if that's true. Can I do anything else up here? Yeah, let's do that. Coin flip ability, alright. Something that might have been more fun is if I've seen on some games like this where the more times you play a particular level, kind of like you get experience in that area, and that improves kind of your money generation for it. I think I would have preferred a mechanic like that, so that way there is value in playing a particular level over and over again, and maybe even value in going back to like the copper mine that we played when we started, because at this point I don't see any reason why I would go backwards. And I'm basically just waiting to make similar upgrades, but presumably off of a higher base value ore, and then move to the next area. But cash is really starting to stack up now. I feel like it's coming in so much faster. And then I would have loved, maybe in conjunction with that, maybe upgrades on the abilities and more on the pickaxes. Because I feel like that's what I'm most invested in, which is what I can do to the ore. And so like if you could kind of play the level more and more such that the value of the ore goes up and maybe the rate of spawn or the max number all go up very slightly every time you get experience and you level up, then it would just naturally kind of lend itself to replayability of that level, and then you'd have more and more things on the screen. But I think the thing I'm most invested in is not the ore itself, which is where we're actually getting the upgrades, but the pickaxe. And yeah, so I've definitely can't do anything else here. I'm gonna upgrade the pointer ones just because I'm hoping, yeah, that didn't happen. I was kind of hoping something would unlock when I had both of these upgraded. It was kind of a long shot, but I did it. So that's it. So basically, like, pickaxe shop is done. We do have a lot more abilities to go through, so there's a bunch more that I have not encountered yet. Let's maybe finish off some of these trees before we forget. Getting this coin flip ability. Or rush ability. Alright. I guess I'll get rid of the spare pickaxe because I kind of have that naturally from my normal pickaxe. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not really sure what that coin flip was supposed to do for me. Let's do it again. Maybe I'm being dumb here, but I really have no idea what that just did. I'm gonna have to try to maybe pay attention to, like, the cash amount. So there's two sides of the coin. So one is a axe and one is a... So I'm gonna stop using the other abilities. So let's see, I'm automatically spawning these other smaller ones. Okay, so I think it might have spawned an additional small pickaxe, I think is what it did. I'm guessing when I hit the other side, it maybe spawned some ore for me. So it's kind of like the first two abilities together, like this ore pocket, and the additional axes kind of together. Yeah, cash is stacking up so fast right now. So, alright, let's at least try to do an ore rush. Just double checking I have everything maxed, which I did not actually. Pickaxe crate. Alright. I don't love this coin flip ability. Okay, slightly increase ore spawn rate. Let's try that out. I do seem to have more ore spawning at this point. I feel like having more ore on the screen is useful because the pickaxe itself has a % chance to spawn other pickaxes. And I'm guessing that's based off of a trigger, like it hitting an ore. So presumably if the entire screen had ore on it and the pickaxe was just kind of going nuts, it would spawn more ore, more pickaxes, I mean, faster. Yeah. Another thing that would have made this interesting is because they are being explicit about different ore being here, like iron, stone, silver, gold. Those could have also been like upgrade materials for some of the upgrades, or maybe even the abilities. And then that allowed you to have an incentive to go back to one of the other levels. Because I'm nearing the end of this map. I'll probably at least try out one other map. I don't think I'm going to go through all these at this point. I'll have to do pickaxe crate. Yeah, so I'm not really invested in any of these. I don't know if it even really matters. I'm going to get another ability. I'm just basically upgrading whatever I can. I'll get rid of scatter bombs since I've had that for a while. Could do anything. Alright, let's see what anything means here. Ore pocket, of course. Okay, so this pickaxe seems to be able to go through the ore. I wonder if there's different... I see, so there's like a green... There's this one with like the... almost like teeth at the edge. It's almost like a hammerhead shark. Seems to be like explosion. I'm gonna try to hit one of the other ones, but it's a... I think it's just brown. Yeah, it's just the other one. Nope. Did not get it. It's almost like you played League of Legends, like Twisted Fate, like picking a card back in the day. Just trying to get that gold card. Wizard. That's what I got from that dice roll. Oh, that was a fantastic ability, actually. Again. I'm just gonna start hitting these so we can maybe just get them. To keep hitting green. Maybe it always starts in the same order. Maybe that's why it is doing that. So brown. Or I guess that was gold. Maybe. Seems to just be spawning these, which was a little anticlimactic in my opinion. Wizard. 11 is wizard. Oh, my pickaxe even got stuck there, I think. Seems to be a bug. Goblin Squad. Okay, so this ability is clearly way better than some of the other ones, because even Goblin itself, I think, was on a similar cooldown, and you could only have 1 or 2 during the duration overlap. But now I have, like, 6 of these guys. Mini bombs, definitely better than the scatter bombs. So dice roll seems to be really OP. Seems to be better than the other versions of the abilities if you happen to hit it, which also makes me think maybe there's like a wizard ability or something. I can't even see the names. Blocker, auto click, big bomb, wizard. Yep, so there's a wizard. All right, ore shop again. Got those. Yeah, and the weird thing is that I just maxed this out, and that gives me the ability to... a locked-in demo. Okay, that makes sense. But the same thing happened before, where once you unlock it, you literally immediately have an incentive to just go to the next level and you don't even... There's no reason to even keep playing the level you just maxed out. So I'll do this one more time just to... so you can see everything kind of in action maxed out for a little bit. Many pickaxes. Yeah, seems pretty similar. So it seems like they literally just did pickaxe crate, but better. So overall, it is pretty fun. I'm gonna end the game. I don't know if there's any credits or anything here that you can bring up. What happens when I leave? Okay. That's it. Alright. So, it was fun overall. I think that there were some interesting mechanics. It felt pretty slow at the beginning. I feel like there could be some adjustments here, but I feel like there's kind of like there's a seed of a really good game in here, but I feel like based off of how they've set it up and set up the demo, I doubt they would make those changes that I just referenced, because they're probably already invested since they have a wish list and everything behind it. But it is an interesting idea. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching me play Pickochet. Again, no idea how to pronounce that appropriately. If you know, let me know in the comments below.